Hello everyone, my name is Gus, and today we are reacting to one of Woody's dives, and he's not here this week. He's attending some training and he's unable to record, but I wanted to review one of the dives that he did recently. This is not a super long video, and that's because it's mainly a compilation of Woody doing something that we haven't really reviewed on Dive Talk so far. If you've seen some of our videos in the past with dives from me or Woody or both of us, we really haven't gotten deep into the concept of running lines. And don't worry, this is not one of those training videos where I'm going to teach you how to run lines. This is interesting because this is Woody running lines with a DPV. So on top of just doing a cave dive in high flow at Ginnie Springs in Florida, he also has a DPV and he's running line. He's the line man. He's the lead, the team lead. Because in cave diving, when you're on a cave diving team, you don't cave dive solo, although there are some explorers that do it and other people that do it. We don't do it. On the team, people have responsibilities. The person who's up front is the team lead, and that person runs line. It's the lineman or woman, right? So you're running these lines, and Woody volunteered to be the lineman for this specific dive. So Brian, shout out to Brian Busher, who has a channel called Dive Monkey. That's where I got this video, and I'm going to link it below. Go check it out. There's also videos of my one of my dives and other dives that Brian has done, cave diving. He's a great diver, so check it out and subscribe. But Brian recorded Woody doing these line work, either setting the main line or making jumps as well. And super quick introduction, when we're cave diving, we follow rules. And rule number 2 is to always have a continuous guideline to the surface. Now, it doesn't have to be all the way to the surface, but when you get to the end of the line, like if you're completely blinded, zero visibility, when you get to the end of the line, you should be able to directly ascend to the surface, right? That's what we mean a line to the surface is you just go up and you're at the surface. So Woody has to run a line from the surface all the way to the cave line, the main line, right? And we typically for that use something called a primary reel, which looks like this. This is mine. So this is made by Hollis. It doesn't matter. They're made by several manufacturers. You can see it has my name on it. And this one has 400 feet of line. It's about 120 meters. So super long. It has a lot of line. And we use this to connect from the surface, as I mentioned, to the main cave line. And we leave that there during the whole dive. Then during the dive, we use other lines for multiple purposes. First of all, we always carry a safety spool. They're called finger spools. They look like this. So I carry 2 of these, and these are made by Apex. They're called Apex Lifeline. Love these. They're aluminum. They're really, really nice. And they are 60 meters, so 200 feet. It's a lot of line for a safety reel, and we use these for multiple scenarios, not just for jumps, which are navigation points throughout our dive, but also for lost body procedures and lost line procedures. Right, so you lost your body, you have to go find them. You can tie to the line and go out looking for your body. Like, oh, maybe he went into this direction or that direction. You can always, reel yourself back to the line. And if you find your body, which we have covered in the past in a recent video, you would tell them, this is the line, follow it. And then your body will follow it and you reel behind them. So we use these lines for emergencies. That's what they're called, safety spools, right? So I carry at least 2 of these. And then for jumps, which are navigation points during our dive, we use finger spools as well. Now, I like this one right here, which I got recently from my buddies at Paragon Dive Systems. These are made by AMX Technologies. Really, really awesome spool. I wish I had more than one. And the reason why I really like this one is that if you see this one, the holes inside the spool, they're see-through. You can see through them. They are exactly in the same position on both sides. But this one is staggered. I really love that. That simple change proves to be super useful. So you have a hole right here. The next one is right here. The next one is right here. So they kind of zigzag the holes. They're staggered. And that is very useful because when you're threading this line through one of the holes, on these specific ones, there's always one that is too short or one that is too long. Like, you can never get it perfectly. But with these ones that are staggered, you can go on this side. If it's too short, You can go on that side and that's enough. That's perfect. So I really love that. I wish I had more of these. Again, made of aluminum. None of these are sponsored, by the way. I don't care if you buy them or not. I'm not telling you what to get. I'm just telling you what I use and why I like them. And then a long time ago when I became a cavern diver, I bought these because I thought they would be really useful. They're called cookie spools. They're very, very small. As you can see, you unravel them. And they don't use a bolt snap like these, right? They don't use a bolt snap to secure the line. They are self-contained. So you roll them out, and whenever you get to wherever you're going, you can just, you know, tie them in, and that's it. They're tied right on the body of the spool. Now, these ones are supposed to be for jumps mainly. They are 6 meters or 20 feet, so they're not super long. And, you know, I bought, I think, like 3 of these. Are very inexpensive, like $10. I think I paid $9.99 for them. But the problem is that they don't have that, you know, that bolt snap. They're hard to carry. You just dump them in your pocket. They're just rolling around. And I think I lost one, a Peacock. So whoever found that, you're welcome. So I don't really use these. I had to dig them out of a box just so I can show you. These are called cookie spools once again. So let's get to the video. I know, long introduction. Woody's not here to yell at me, so I can make it as long as I want. But if you fast forward through this, let's look at Woody running line with a DPV, a Ginny. One last thing, I promise. I wanted to give a shout out to Cameron, one of our members in New Zealand, who sent us this awesome picture rocking the Dive Talk Dive Team rash guards in New Zealand. So thank you so much. If you haven't become a member, click on the join button below. Become a member, because we do offer some merchandise and stuff for members, like this mask strap. We have wet notes. We have rash guards. So please consider becoming a member. We use that money that we get every month from members to record more videos, you know, for you to enjoy. So hopefully you get to become a member and have access, obviously, to member exclusive content. There's a bunch of videos that are only available to members. But if you don't want to become a member and you do want a rash guard, shopdivetalk.com. Shopdivetalk.com. Go get some merch. Send us a picture so we can feature you like we featured Cameron. And, you know, holidays are coming up. Get to it. Get some rash guards. Get some other stuff. And let's see how it looks. So here we go. Here's Woody, obviously wearing pink, except for his fins that are orange because they haven't made pink fins for him yet. They're coming, I promise. So they're entering through what is known as the Devil's Eye at Ginny Springs. You will notice Woody turns around as the team lead. Are you all ready? Yep. So now he goes to set the line. So notice he's setting the line in the open water, right? I'm going to use my mouse to point some things. So he's tying it around here, around there, which is right at the surface. You can always ascend. So if you get to the end of that line and you're lost, just go up and you will be in the surface. You will be at the surface. So here we go. He's going to run some lines. Now notice that his DPV is on the side. How awesome is that? So this is not something that we learned at the DPV cave class. Ed taught us a different way to do it, which also doesn't get on the way. But Woody managed to find a way to set that DPV on the side exactly parallel to his side mount tanks. I have no idea how he does that. So he has to teach me that. So Woody, please hook me up, because I know you're watching this to see what I think about your guy. But look at that thing. It's just right next to the tank. Wherever he goes, he just goes with them. Love it. Out of the way. Perfect. So there you go. He's getting to the main line. He ties up, grabs his DPV, and they head into the Devil Cave system at Ginny Springs. Here we go. Right behind him is Brian. As I mentioned, great diver. Took these videos. So thank you, Brian, for that. Go check out his channel, Dive Monkey. Going through the lips, a Ginny. Now notice that on his back, Woody has all those spools, finger spools for the jumps. And he also sets his safety spool right here on the left. So you will notice that that never leaves his sight. He never uses that spool. He always keeps that safety spool, but he uses the other ones. He's going through the keyhole. Big time flow through the keyhole. And you go through a series of tunnels here. Here we go. Jump number 1. So Woody secures it. Let me pause right there for a second to point something out. Notice that Woody here on his light has these things. There are, we call them cave cookies, but they're really bread bag clips. We get this question all the time, every time we feature them. Where do you get those cookies? Where do you get? Go to Amazon and search for bread bag clips, and they have them in a bunch of colors and stuff. Of course, Woody's are pink. So notice that he said a bread bag clip, or a cave cookie, as I'm going to call them, right on the main line. And then he tied, you know, on that line, he tied his jump. So he's going to swim out with this line all the way to the other jump. The idea behind having that cookie on the line, we have explained that before, is that if you're coming out through his jump and you're completely blind, you can't see anything. Visibility went to 0 for some reason, which at Ginny is hard because there's a lot of flow, but let's just pretend you can't see anything. You're coming out, you hit the T, which is this line right here where he's tying. Number 1, before you get to see the cookie, there's a arrow, a cave diving arrow right here, very conveniently located, telling you where the exit is at or where to go to exit the cave. But sometimes where we tie for jumps, there's no arrows. So we use our cookies for that. So when you get to the T, right, you feel the line, and when you touch the cookies, then you're like, okay, this is the exit, right? Now, you should be aware enough to know where you're coming from and stuff to know where to go, but we don't depend on awareness or you remembering. We leave cookies behind so you can know where the exit is at. Now, this is not uniform. Some countries do it differently. Some countries will set the cookies right on the jump line. So this is not a thing that is global, but I like this system. I personally like to leave it right on the line. That way, when you get to the end, you know exactly where to go. You can see he's completing his jump perfectly on trim. The DPV is right on his side, next to his side mount tank. You can't even see it. That's how good it is. Now he's making another jump. Notice right between 2 cave arrows. So there's 2 cave arrows. He still sets a cookie, right? So he knows where the exit is at. Now this happens sometimes in caves that you will see at random places. You will see 2 cave arrows right next to each other. That's telling you that that's a point, the best point for a jump to another tunnel. So it's very convenient, but that's definitely not the norm. It just sometimes in Florida caves you see that. So here we go. He's making a long jump, right, to connect to this other line, and you see there's an arrow right there. So he's gonna connect right before the arrow for the exit, and he's staying high above the ground to not silt the place up, staying in trim. DPV on the side. So he's asking, as you can see, he's saying, I only have one. I only have my safety spool. I need one. This is the sign for line. I need a spool. So Brian is going to hand him another spool. This is normal, by the way. Let's say you're making 7 jumps as part of your dive. You don't want to carry 8 finger spools. So with your number 2 guy, you can be like, okay, let me carry 4. You carry 4. So notice this was pretty funny. Let me rewind for a second. So Woody's trying to make the jump, but notice that he has the bolt snap still attached to the spool. So he's like, "What? Why is this not working?" And Brian is like, "Hey, Woody, you should probably take the bolt snap out of it because it's locked." And he's like, I was wondering why this is so hard. He's saying, "All right, there you go." He took the bolt snap, completed the jump. Once again, right here, connecting to the cookie. So notice right here, there is no arrow, as I mentioned. This is the line snapped at some point and they fixed it. That's just a nut. But notice that there's no arrow and they're making a jump. So Woody's leaving a cookie behind to show where the exit is. Rule number 2, continuous guideline to the surface. Wonder if they were making a circuit that day. All right, he's starting to pick up his jumps. Look at that thing. I mean, I gotta pause and look at that. Canister of the rebreather right next to the side mount tank, the bailout tank, right next to the DPV. That's impressive, at least for me. Awesome. Good job. Just picking up his thing. Putting it away. The D-ring. That D-ring is sometimes hard to reach, by the way. Takes a couple tries to get back there. Ugh. Helicopter kick to the side. Ready to go. Awesome. And you see that there's flow. Woody's being pushed little by little, and that's why there's some slack in the line, because he's being pushed so fast that it's hard to spool it. All right, coming out of the keyhole, looks like. Coming out of the lips. They're coming to the end of this dive. And then you're in the run. This is called the run at Ginny, when you're going to the entrance of the cave or you're exiting, going to the steps. What an awesome dive. And this is what makes cave diving safe. The fact that we follow rules and we had a line, they had a line, always all the way to the exit in case they got lost or they lost visibility or whatever. We just follow the lines with the cookies. We follow the lines and the arrows all the way to the exit. No problem, right? So I just wanted to show you a different thing that we haven't really focused in the past, which is running lines, especially with a DPV. Woody did a great job. Once again, neither Woody nor me are cave diving instructors, or even cavern diving instructors for that matter. So don't take this as instruction, like this is how you do it and there's no other way. Nobody can do it better. Not at all. We're just regular cave divers. Woody did a great job. If I did that, it wouldn't have looked that good. So I wanted to showcase that and react to his dive. However, we have reacted to other dives in the past. Last time we did one was a dive from me diving at Ginny, which is where Woody was. And I did a route called Sweet Surprise on the DPV. And I'm going to leave it right here, so you guys can take a look and enjoy that. So thank you for liking and subscribing to the channel. And once again, holidays are coming up. Get some merch. ShopDiveTalk.com. We'll see you on the next one.